The Pan-African Association marked a significant development in the independence of Africa from European powers. As a result, there was a boom of support for a unified Africa and a unified African people. After years of abuse at the hands of colonizers, people of African descent were ready for self-reliance and a fight for independence. During the late 19th and early 20th centuries, a new age of imperialism emerged, with new motives. Rather than an agenda of gold, God, and glory, leaders were influenced by economic, social, and political motives, such as the desire for newly industrialized nations, more political influence, and the spread of Western culture. Previously, the Industrial Revolution spurred economic growth. This growth helped fuel the new age of imperialism. Prior to colonization, Africa had about 10,000 different states and a variety of distinct languages and cultures. However, Africa was damaged economically, politically, and socially due to the adoption of European economic policies. The results of new imperialism can be seen throughout history and in our society today. Mindsets such as social Darwinism and other just as blatant forms of racism reflect imperialism and its roots in social superiority as well as economic gain. Frustrations emerged from the races thrown under the socio-economic bus, prompting African activists to fight against colonization and for the unification of Africa and its people. As a response to Bismarck's Berlin Conference, the African diaspora held the Chicago Congress on Africa, which served as a jumping-off point for the Pan-African movement, which Henry Sylvester Williams brought into play officially in 1900. This first conference was held in London at Westminster Hall on the 23rd, 24th, and 25th of July, with the goal of unifying Africa geographically and socially, expanding its reach throughout the many countries that the people of African descent called home. The leader of the movement and father of Pan-Africanism was W.E.B. Du Bois, a scholar and activist. As a result, African leadership was solidified in 1963 due to the formation of the Organization of African Unity. A variety of lasting effects occurred due to the Pan-African movement. On an immediate level, the Pan-African Congress of 1919 passed resolutions that dealt with government, labor, and the rights of African people and people of African descent. For example, one of the resolutions passed decreed that the Allied and associated powers establish a code of laws for the international protection of the natives of Africa. As a response to the many enslaved Africans and the exploitation of labor by European powers, they also wrote that slavery and corporal punishment shall be abolished and forced labor except in punishment for crime, and the general conditions of labor shall be prescribed and regulated by the state. Some of the most profound and long-lasting of these effects are the movement's continued influence and support of activists, starting with Booker T. Washington, W.E.B. Du Bois, and Marcus Garvey, and continuing through Kwame Nkrumah, a former president of Ghana. Their words resonate today. Booker T. Washington says that the progress in the enjoyment of all the privileges that will come to us must be the result of severe and constant struggle rather than of artificial forcing, in his Atlanta Cotton States Exposition address, and Nkrumah famously says that the independence of Ghana is meaningless unless it is linked up with the total independence of the African continent in 1957. This belief is a result of the Pan-African idea of community through shared African heritage. With this idea in mind, the movement has yet to settle down, with the 1960s bringing independence for many African countries from colonizers, and 1994 being the end of the apartheid, a system of segregation and racial discrimination in Africa. Still, you can see the effects of colonization from the centuries where it dug its claws into Africa. Countries take advantage of Africa for its abundance of natural resources, but a big difference between imperialism now and imperialism then is the hyper-accessibility of the media. However, despite the ease at which news can travel, colonialism and tragedies in Africa stay, for the most part, out of mainstream news.